Shout out to all my brothers out there that got the beard. They like to take care of it. They like to keep it groomed. Look, we got a Black Friday sale going on right now. $5 off our essential beard growth oil and another $3 off the balm. Right now, I'm telling you, it's going to have your beard soft and glistening with a brilliant shine all day. The link is at the top line of the description. And the best part is the shipping is free for a limited time only. See you soon. Now, every day now we seen since Diddy's been locked up, a new accuser comes out. My question will be, do you see this case, one, more accusers coming out, and two, do you see it turning criminal?
It's already in the criminal process.
Wow.
It's already in the criminal process. If you go back and look at Mr. Cosby case, uh, there were no civil suits waged while the criminal proceeding was going on. The criminal is like the Daniel Penny case where the guy chokehold the guy in the subway. The judge dismissed that case, but now they have the proper avenue now, and that has given them like to go after him civilly. It's the same thing with Sean Combs. The criminal case is a situation where fuels the civil cases. So right now, in order to where people are trying to say, hey, if you don't want us to work for the government and you don't want us to become a witness for the government, you need to settle this matter. And the problem with Sean Combs versus Mr. Cosby, we had AIG Insurance. AIG Insurance supplemented our criminal trials. They paid for our criminal attorneys. They paid everybody. They paid for our researchers because it was to their benefit for us to win the criminal trial. Because if we won the criminal trial, they wouldn't have to pay the money out on the civil side.
Mm.
So what Sean Combs doesn't have, he doesn't have an insurance carrier right now. He's just operating on assets and liquid. And most of these people that you see today in this realm of quote unquote billionaires, most of the people are more asset rich and cash poor.
Yeah.
So right now, people are looking at all of his assets and they're looking at, okay, well, he could sell something and settle this matter out. And what they'll do is a garden, what they're probably coming to him now and saying, let's do a garden variety settlement. But right now, that one settlement that he was forced into with Cassie, it became the inferno where he should have just stood his ground and said, you know what Jay-Z is doing, let's fight.
Interesting.
Is there a situation or circumstance where you could see prosecutors going into R. Kelly's cell, going into Diddy's cell, and saying, if you give me information on Jay-Z, you may get your sentence reduced? Do you see a situation where you see these two music
it's
guys?
happening. It's happening as we speak.
Mm.
Because they're in federal custody. They're not in
Yeah.
state custody.
Right.
So when you're under the federal investigation, that goes across state lines. That gets to go overseas. That goes looking into your trafficking, your offshores account. This is not a state situation. This is federal custody. R. Kelly's attorney, who I was helping him off the books and helped him retain his attorney, he just lost his appeal with the United States Supreme Court. So he has exhausted all of his efforts right now. He has to do the time. The only way he can get outside of doing the time right now, there are only two ways. He gets a pardon from the President of the United States, or he gets talked and a deal is struck. And they work out a deal where they say, well, hey, if you give me what you have on all the artists you work with, and we need proof of it and give us names and information, we might be able to knock 15 years off your sentence. Because remember, in federal, doing federal time versus state time, there's no such thing as going up for parole. In federal time, you have to do 85% of the time, and then they let you out. Look at Big Meech; he did 85% of the time. That's why he's out.
Mm.
Right. What do you see happening next here?
Well, I think the saga's going to continue.
Yeah.
See, the formula And I always said, the Most High blessed me with this formula to have the blueprint
Right.
of what it's like to stand in the gap for Black America. And standing in the gap means that I never forget the conversation. Mr. Cosby and Mrs. Cosby, they were frantic in 2014 because the allegations came out in October. And at the time, the situation was going on in Ferguson with Michael Brown. And this journalist come on Reliable Solutions and says, do not let Ferguson or the holidays take Bill Cosby out of the news.
Mm.
So there are no presents coming to you for the month of Christmas. There's no celebrating a big new year, because that's when you're going to see, because these attorneys in the system want to leave you very uncomfortable. They want you to be uncomfortable. There's no way that Jay-Z, yeah, he dropped some beautiful bars and he spoke his piece, but don't think he's not sitting around worried about this matter. You can't get comfortable. These guys, unlike regular people in the world, they have attorneys, sitting on retainers who they have yet to bill against those retainers. And those attorneys know one day something is going to happen. So I'm going to be able to go to this war chest in my IOTA account, and I'm going to be able to draw money from it by doing work. He has lawyers, like he said, I got the money team. He has the money team. They're working 24/7. They're going to be working through the holidays, the same way our lawyers were working. No one caught a break. Everybody worked through the holidays. Thanksgiving. You didn't celebrate nothing. Everybody worked 7 days a week because you're constantly billing, because they said, I need this to get thrown out. I need this to go away. And Jay-Z is trying to hope and pray for the courts, throwing this out. But the problem now with this system that we're in, the courts are saying, no, the burden of proof is on the plaintiff, the person who's bringing these accusations. So we're going to let this civil proceeding move forward, or we'll let this criminal proceeding move forward. Because now they're saying, the sexual assault and Me Too thing has caused the judicial system to not act within the realm of the law. Everybody is figuring out, well, I need to give these women their day in court. And you have to understand the reason why that's happening, because most people on the bench are either elected or selected to the bench. Now you have a greater chance when someone is selected to the bench because they don't have to rely on votes. But when you're out here relying on getting elected for another term to be a judge or a prosecutor, you got to show yourself being tough on crime and show that you're for women. And that's the new slogan, that we have to show that we're for women, because women don't lie, but we know that's a lie.
Right. Now I was listening. They said that apparently a celebrity, they didn't name the name. They say celebrity B witnessed this alleged assault on this 13-year-old. I don't know if you heard that aspect of it. Are they holding some cards for Jay-Z, this lawyer, to really smash him real soon?
Well, they're holding all the cards. They're going to let him push every envelope that he wants to push, and they're going to come back and say, okay, you want to show us your arrogance, and you want to call us out, that you don't feel like you're taking this matter serious. And basically, in so many words, what Tom Busby said, he said the gloves are off. He said, in so many words, this is what you want, and you're going to go to the courts and say, I'm trying to extort you. Gloves are off now. I tried to be civil with you. No more being civil. I'm coming for you because now you came for my career and you came for my livelihood. So I'm coming after you. So I'm going to drop every nuclear bomb I got in my arsenal to get you. You're my number one target right now. And I guarantee you, he got a dartboard somewhere in his house throwing darts at Jay-Z's picture, trying to hit the bullseye.
Damn. Let me ask you this. Let me get your thoughts on this, because we've seen it before. They try to present you guilty in the court. They try to make you guilty in the court of public opinion. And it seems like, unfortunately, those who spearhead those guilty pleas in the court of public opinion are us. And I mean black people. Unfortunately, seems like when it comes to R. Kelly, when it comes to Diddy, and now Jay-Z, it seems like when you look at the pulse of the people, it's black people are the ones that, yeah, we knew he was guilty 12 years ago. We knew he was this. We knew he was evil. We knew we can't wait. Or you guys just, why do you think that is?
Well, I think we're angry with ourselves. And look, you could crack a person's head open and put all types of knowledge in there. The one thing you can't put in there is ambition. And there's a lot of black people out here who didn't possibly get what they wanted to get. And it's something about us that enjoy the takedown. And we have to always realize it's not what they're doing to us, it's what we're not doing for ourselves. They're not doing it to us, we're doing it to us. And we sit back and we allow a system because it shows that we don't have the influence and power that we think we have. No matter how wealthy we get, we still are members of an exclusive slave plantation. We're members. The majority of black people are members of this exclusive slave plantation. The slave plantation that lets you be a member of the country club. The slave plantation that lets you get a little liquid to say that you can move into the suburban neighborhood. But you're still on the plantation, even when you move in the suburban neighborhood, whether you pay cash for the home or not. You're on the plantation. You're never your own human being. When master wants to make an example to you, he pulls you out in front of all the slaves and tie you to a post, and he lets your own whip you. Your own. He don't do it. He get a whip to your wife. He give the whip to your child. So when the overseer has the person living next door to you and the person you're feeding every day tie you to the post and they whip you and discipline you, you have no more respect or power. And it shows that the influence that you portray yourself to have, and you're bigger and you're a billionaire and you have this status. Nah, you really ain't that person. You still own, you're just on a country club plantation. You're just a slave with a few exclusive rights, but you don't have all of the rights. See, we have to be careful when we say civil rights, because civil rights ain't meant to be civilly to us. We have to say what the LGBTQ community has always said. I don't want civil rights. I want equal rights. I want to be your equal. When black people start saying to their oppressors, I want to be your equal. When Michael Jackson said, no, I want to be your equal. When Bill Cosby said, I want to be your equal. When R. Kelly said, I want to be your equal, I made a song, I Could Believe I Could Fly. And it became an anthem at every wedding, at every game. I want to be your equal. No, you don't get to be our equal. You need to be begging us to treat you civilly. Keep fighting for civil rights. And we made the biggest mistake as a race. Our biggest mistake we could ever make as gatekeepers in our own communities, amongst our own families. We made the mistake of letting social media take form. That was the worst thing we could have ever done, because social media was created to take black people away from current events of the day. It took you away from the realities of people in your community who made a name for themselves and was trying to give back and had the opportunity to give back to your community. It took us away from people, everyday people. It made the Sean Combs, it made the Jay-Z's and the Bill Cosby's of the world move out of the community that you once knew, that you were a part of. Imagine if they all came together and everybody put their money into this pot and they said, you know what, we're going to rebuild Marcy Projects. Because we now have the influence, we have the government connections to say to the federal government, sell us these projects, we're going to redo it. No, you wanted to join forces with Malibu, Pacific Palisades, the Hamptons, the Upper East Side. You know, you wanted to be a part of that selective slave, plantation, but it's all selective because it's only a select group of people that get to be a part of it. And it's not me playing a race card because, I can't play the race card. They created the race card when they put us on that ship and brought us over here. They created their race card. It's not me playing the race card. They created the race card when they drafted the Constitution minus the amendments. It's just me playing the truth. And that's with our own people, man, until we as a people, and I don't see it happening, because it's okay to be jealous of someone, because if you jealous of that team that beat you in the championship, that's going to make you get in the gym and work harder. Envy is just a dangerous drug. And it's the worst drug that a person can take. If we dilute the drug called envy, and we start realizing that we have all of these abilities and talents. I remember when the allegations hit against Mr. Cosby, he said, Andrew, can you find me a Black attorney that I could drop $20 million into a law firm? And we build up a war chest. And anybody who cannot have the means and resources to fight these type of charges, they get a lawyer instantly with the war chest we built up. Wow. See, that's what Jay-Z, Sean Combs, and all of these guys should have been doing to Russell Simmons while they was building the hip hop empire. They should have been building the hip hop financial empire and building financial institutions where they can create a hierarchy of Black people who might not get to be recording artists, who might not get to be actors one day, who might work behind the scenes, but they get to move out and move up as well. So when we don't get to move out and move up, we become your worst nightmare. We become envious of you.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I got just one more from me. How much of this is, these guys being, and you kind of already answered, but I want just the final question. How much of this is these guys really being creeps? Whatever people are saying they are. How much of this is them, being rich, affluent, wealthy Black men? Because a lot of people think like, no, it ain't about the money. It ain't about this. They're really creeps, and their karma's catching up to them. Or is it more so about, look, they got to a place where a lot of us didn't get to. We got to make an example out of them.
I think it's a little bit of both, because at the end of the day, nobody can stand a good investigation. None of us can. And all of us have a fetish. I don't care who you are. Nobody want the public or the world to know about their fetishes. Now, at the end of the day, these people excel to a level that no one has ever seen. The problem that they had and what they're doing is they're flaunted their success in the face of those people that work for them, the agents that don't look like them. And now their children idolize those personas that those agents and those managers and those publicists and those recording executives build. But now you're going to flaunt your success in front of me. You don't get to do that. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house that he got 40 years ago in Montana. He still drives the same Lincoln Continental. Elon Musk don't have a home. He sleeps on people's sofa. He touts the fact that, hey man, I don't have a home. And you don't see Elon Musk and them showing off his matching. You don't see them showing off Jeff Bezos matching, or see them flaunting with all the ice and jewelry and all the drapery on. They understand that, yes, conflict does create interest, and the interest that conflict, our type of conflict create is the interest on our bank account.
Mm.
And the interest that we have amongst the masses. See, I always said I never was a part of the classy. I was a part of the massy because I got with regular people. When I saw a black person touting themselves and being better than me and saying that they was better than me and showing off and riding through with the car. But then when I went to their house and I opened up their refrigerator, all they had was an onion inside, and the onion was crying.
Right.
You know, we have this tendency of where, as a race, we want to prove and show that I'm better than you. And when you see social media, everybody's posting up a bottle, they're posting up food, they're posting up a party. Because the best way to get us off of the mission is you give us a chicken and beer and some fried chicken and throw us a
Mm.
party, a block party. We forget that we're there to change laws. That's what happened with the Congressional Black Caucus.
Mm.
Congressional Black Caucus was black people who was political figures showing up, fighting for our rights and trying to change the laws to get us uh, better fairness in this system that we call America. Well, then the sponsors got wind of it and said, let us sponsor it. Then they started throwing a party and a concert here and a party. And then now we're off topic. We're off the mission at hand. The mission at hand was not for us to come in and get a chicken and beer party. You know, everybody wants to talk about Donald Trump winning and Kamala Harris losing, and she had all of these black women support. Yeah, she had black women support, but what we did not see is black women who were on the upper echelon reach down and say, you know what? I'm going to go hang with poor black women. And those poor black women, that's where your votes came from. You already had the votes of the upper echelon and the middle class. You didn't have the votes of the poor.
Mm.
And you can't be Sean Combs and just said, I'm going to only show up on Thanksgiving and give a turkey out. But then I'm going to hold the rights to your publishing. That has retribution. And you cannot, you have to grow up. See, when they see you not growing up, they don't want you to grow up. They don't want us to start adulting as black people, because when we start adulting and we start acting like adults and we start acting civilized, that's where our power is. That's where we become dangerous. And that's when we take back our community and we take back our families.